My name is Joe Wilk. I'm the faculty director for business analytics at William & Mary, and I primarily teach in the business school. My background is actually engineering. I have taught at the University of Tennessee, East Carolina University, Northwestern University, Penn State University, and most recently, I was a faculty member at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado. I came back to William & Mary, not back. I came to William & Mary because I'm from Virginia, and I love this region. And tonight, what I want to do is I want to share a little bit about what's going on in cyber at William & Mary. Now, unlike a lot of the other schools that you're going to be introduced to tonight, cyber at William & Mary, it's not one specific department or one specific program. Just like many things at William & Mary, we take an interdisciplinary approach, and that's just part of our history and part of our culture, particularly at the undergraduate education realm. The primary departments that work really well with cyber at William & Mary reside primarily in three of the different schools. So the first school I'd like to mention is the Arts and Sciences School. And of course, there are a number of different departments and majors in arts and sciences, but the kind of the big three as it relates to cyber would be applied sciences, computer science, and data science. Now, applied sciences, you can kind of think of applied sciences, and hopefully no one gets offended by me saying this, but that is actually kind of a miscellaneous term that's perhaps, you can kind of think of that as kind of like just modern, like what's going on, what's new. So there are faculty members in applied science that do materials research, they do cyber research, and they're perhaps doing some things related to physics and really pushing the realm of what's occurring in a science field, and maybe even some engineering as well. Computer science is fairly traditional at William & Mary. And then, of course, data science is a new initiative at William & Mary. They are building up faculty and building up strength in that area. So that's at the arts and sciences level, and all of those programs would have both undergraduate and graduate experiences, both in cyber and in their traditional fields. I represent the School of Business, and the School of Business at William & Mary has both undergraduate and graduate programs. The cyber courses in the School of Business are going to reside in the analytics area or information systems. So when you think about cyber at William & Mary, if you want a more applied approach and how businesses are using cyber, how they are implementing cyber within their organizations, then you can think about it from a business perspective. The business school would have opportunities and offerings in that space. And finally, and this is perhaps what makes us also different from some of the other schools you will meet tonight, is we also have a cyber program in our law school. And now a law school is going to be graduate only because a law degree is a graduate degree. However, there are courses in the law school taught by law school professors in cyber information security at the undergraduate level. So they have opened it up for students from the other schools, so arts and sciences and business predominantly, to take undergraduate electives in cyber and information security taught by law school professors at William & Mary. So our approach, again, just to encapsulate it, is an interdisciplinary approach, primarily from three schools out of William & Mary: the arts and sciences, the business, and the law school. I've only prepared this one slide because I really wanted to focus on your questions. So I'm probably a little bit early to the Q&A, but I think that's okay. So feel free to queue up your questions, and Matthew and I will field them as best we can. While I'm waiting for questions, I do want to mention one of the undergraduate courses that we've developed recently in the business school in cybersecurity. It actually is an initiative from our board of advisors. So we have a board of advisors, employers from a number of different spaces, both consulting, manufacturing, nonprofit, government, banking, and those folks, they gave us some really good ideas for what should be incorporated into our business electives when it comes to cyber. So I see that a few questions are rolling in. So I'm going to repeat the question and then I will answer the question. So the first question is cyber at William and Mary hard? Honestly, I don't think so. I think when it comes, and this is true for any discipline, in my opinion, if you are passionate about a discipline and about a topic, it's not going to be hard for you because you're going to be willing to put in the time, the effort, and the determination to learn it. And then pretty soon you'll be an expert in it. So for example, and this is an analogy, but my daughter, she's taking music lessons. And, the first, 50 hours of learning how to play an instrument, it's hard. You're not very good, it's awkward. But after about 50 hours, you start learning how to play a few songs. And then after the 200th hour, the 300th hour of practicing, you're really good. And you can start, doing your own little concerts. So I think the answer is, if you're willing to put in the time and the effort, cyber will not be hard. So here's a second question. And I might need a follow-up here. So can cybersecurity at your school be affiliated with languages in any way? So the question with the languages, I presume you mean like computer programming languages, or are you referencing like foreign languages? I might need a little bit of a background on that one. In terms, if you're asking about computer programming languages, the predominant language that we teach in our programs is Python. And the reason we are using Python is it's a little bit easier to learn and teach. Okay, so you're asking about foreign languages. Let me switch gears then. So yes, we have in our arts and sciences, there's a very large group of linguistics and foreign languages. And to my knowledge, there's not a lot of cyber going on, but to be fair, I'm just speaking off the top of my head. So there perhaps is something that I'm not aware of. So that might be something that an individual faculty member or a handful of faculty members are working on. But I do not think we have a formal program, like cyber interwoven with a foreign language. But we do have a number of interdisciplinary programs and a build your own major within the arts and sciences school. So that is certainly something that you could approach and put forward, and you likely would be very successful in doing so. There's a question about, are you virtual right now? So I am virtual right now in the sense of talking to you, but I am actually teaching my classes face-to-face. I teach 3 of them right now face-to-face, and half the students are online, and then half the students are face-to-face, and then they switch places the next class. So we're just kind of going back and forth like that. But that's not every class is that way. Some of the classes are completely online. Some of the classes are completely face-to-face. It just depends on the course and the professor.
We're going to have time for one more question.
Oh, wow. We've moved really quickly. I'll do my best. So I guess I'll just answer them in the top one first. What is the best major if you were interested in working on driverless cars? Ooh, I would say probably either physics or computer science or engineering. You really can't go wrong if it's a STEM field. I'm sorry I couldn't answer all of your questions. Do you have time for one more, Matthew, or are we really done?
We have time for about one more.
Okay. What if you want to participate in the law program? If you want to be a lawyer, it doesn't matter what your major is at the undergrad level. What a lot of people don't realize is if you want to be a lawyer, you need to be really good at writing and reading. So it's great to have a STEM background if you're going to want to do cyber, but lawyers spend a lot of time writing and a lot of time reading. So keep that in mind.